Jonah chapter 2 verse 2. In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the depths of the grave I called for help, and you listened to my cry. When we are in trouble, when we are in distress, distress is the upper limit of, you know, fear, trouble, tension, worry. So you're really distressed. You have no other go. You feel as if you're in the grave, in the depths of the grave. At that time also, when you call to the Lord, immediately He will listen to you and He will answer you and help you and save you. Hudson Taylor was working in China. He was working among the poorest of the poor people there, and it was disease infected. There were people who are hungry, who are starving, and he did the best that he could to help people. Whatever little support that he got also, he made sure he gave to the people to feed the poor and hungry and to help the needy and the sick people. He was taking care of patients who had smallpox, and he also contracted this deadly disease. He prayed and he cried out to the Lord. Medical facilities and all were very less at that time. So he just kept on praying that the Lord should save him and all the people with the disease also. And the Lord heard his prayer and healed him. He was slowly recovering physically. He was much better. But there was absolutely no food in the house. So they looked around, to see whether they can sell something. They didn't have any money. And, for many days they were just starving. Hudson Taylor and his colleague. And they didn't know what to do. There was just their clock there. They took it and gave it to a Chinese dealer to sell it. But even then he didn't give them money. He said, you leave the clock with me, I'll check whether it's working for a day or two. Only after that I will give you the money. And they went back home very sad, and they didn't have anything to sell also. And they saw only the stove, the old cast iron heavy stove. And then they said, what shall we do with this stove? There's no food. And they decided that maybe we can sell this stove. So they thought, we'll carry it into the town. So we'll cross the river and carry it into town. Maybe if we sell it there, it will go for a better price. So with great difficulty, they carried this heavy stove between them, and they went to the river, and they were wanting to cross over the bridge. But when they reached the river, there was no bridge. The previous night there was a storm, and the bridge had been washed away. They were just completely broken. And Hudson Taylor, he just prayed and he said, Lord, give me this day. Give us this day our daily bread. This is the Lord's prayer. So Lord, please provide for us. And they carried back this in their hunger and in their weak state. They carried this heavy cast iron stove and they went home. And he says, I just prayed that prayer in distress and rejection. I don't think my faith level was very high. But even in that depths, when I was dying, when I knew that my body could no longer go on, in that time the Lord heard that simple prayer, give us this day our daily bread. And the mail was not due at all. Mails come very rarely there. It takes more than a month for the mail to be delivered. But a Chinese boy came running with the mail, that is their letters, not today's email and Gmail. He came with a bunch of letters, and when they opened the letters, there was money in them, and they could go and buy food, and they were so satisfied. So when you're thinking this is the last straw, I cannot manage, when you feel that you're in the depths of the grave, even at that point, even till then, if you've hated God, if you didn't believe in Him, if you think I don't have a good relationship with God, or I don't even know whether He exists or not, whatever your situation may be, when you are in distress, try calling out to the Lord. Definitely He will answer you and He will save you, because God is such a loving God, and God's love is unconditional. God's love is unlimited. God loves you.